Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about the swamp on Ark Survival Evolved. Swamp areas are one of the most dangerous spots on each map, but they're usually pretty recognisable before you get too close, whether that be by their murky water, dense trees, spiky plants and long grass, or by the trees with the roots sticking out the ground. As a new player or on a fresh account, I try and avoid the swamps as much as I can. The swamps do have their benefits, but early game you're just going to get your ass handed to you. So let's begin by talking about the animals of the swamp and why it is such a dangerous place. The Sarco. This is personally my favourite dino of the swamp. They look amazing, and once tamed, they are a great dino to have in your collection. I have a 1-minute taming guide for the Sarco, be sure to check that out, link in the description. In their wild form, the Sarco is probably the dino you have to look out for the least. They aren't too fast while they're on land, and as long as you don't get too close, they probably won't catch you. Beware though, if you get caught in water, or you do get too close, they can grab you and death roll you. A high level Sarco will easily destroy you if you're a new player and you have no armor. When starting out, you're not going to have a lot of stamina. Make sure you're always keeping an eye on your stamina, because if you run out whilst you're getting chased, you're as good as dead. As I said previously, once tamed, these Sarcos are great. They're a versatile dino, they can work outside the water and inside, but once underwater, they come into their own. They are strong, very fast, and once you've pumped a few points into melee damage, they will happily take on almost anything in the ocean. Just remember, they are not the fastest once they're on land, so don't get yourself caught in a situation that you can't get away from. The Baryonyx. Although not the most dangerous creature on this list, the Baryonyx has more than enough potential to get you into some real deep trouble real quick. They can be dangerous both inside and outside the water, as they are fast swimmers as well as fast runners. Running away on foot isn't much of an option, as they will be faster than you. However, Baryonyx can be bowlered, making them a lot easier to kill. Baryonyx can also stun a lot of smaller flyers, and when stunning, this will dismount you. Their melee damage isn't too much to worry about. With a decent set of flak, you should be okay to take quite a lot of hits from one. In the water, however, our Baryonyx can be a lot more dangerous. They can spin and hit you with their tails, which will stun you and stop you from doing absolutely anything. If you're under the water, you won't be able to resurface for air, you won't be able to switch weapons and pull a gun out to kill it. You kind of just sit there stunned until it kills you. Once tamed, these are a decent all-rounder. They can be relatively strong, they're good swimmers, and they're also quite quick outside of the water. They can also jump, which I find in Ark can make things a whole lot easier. The Caprasuchus. Caprasuchus? We'll call it a Capro. Before you get a flyer, these are going to be one of your worst enemies. They're very quiet, they'll hide in the bushes, and as soon as you get close, they'll pounce on you. And when I say pounce, they can jump very far. Most of the time when these attack, you won't see them coming until you're caught in their mouth. They'll pin you down and trap you, and the only way to get out is to either use a bowler, or to kill them, or to knock them out. Oh, their bite will also take away your stamina. Even if you do manage to kill it, don't think about running anywhere anytime soon. Once tamed, you can use those abilities to your advantage. You can use them for the fast swimmers they are. You can also pounce on unsuspecting prey. Last but by no means least from the big dinos, and in my opinion, the absolute worst for the swamp, the Titanoboas. These guys will not make a sound until they have just bitten a chunk out of your ass. And due to the tall grass in the swamp, most of the time, you won't even see these guys coming. One bite is all it takes for these guys to knock you out. And like I said, by the time you notice them, you've already been bit. As a low level, however, there is an easy way to tackle these guys. You can simply walk backwards whilst hitting them with a spear. I know it sounds sketchy, but it works. They also drop prime meat. Early game, this is often what I use to get my prime. If you are kitted out a bit and you get bit by one, just make sure you kill it before you get knocked out, because they will just keep on biting you if you get knocked out. The piranhas. These guys aren't just exclusive to the swamp. You'll come across them pretty early on in Ark, and they can actually be a pretty good size. They'll sneak up on you, they have a hard bite, and the worst bit is they're usually in packs. In shallow swampy water, you'll struggle to even see them whilst they're killing you. The leech is a pretty unique animal. They'll hang around in water, but they can come out. They're often in packs, and what they'll do is they'll chase you, and they'll wait until they can catch up with you, and they'll just go and stick themselves to your face. Now normal leeches aren't too bad, I'm going to show you how to take them off. Simply make a campfire and light it. Once lit, stand on top of the campfire and it will burn the leeches off. Your dinos can also get leeches on them if they're in the swamp. You just need to walk up to them and it will give you the option to remove leeches. The things you don't want to get caught by are disease leeches. If one of these guys suck onto you, you're going to develop swamp fever. This is the little green stuff you see around people's heads when you start on an official server, and it will just ruin your stats apart from your movement speed. To remove this, you actually need 3 leech blood, a narcotic, 10 rare flowers, and 10 rare mushrooms. Of course, not everything in the swamp is evil. We're going to take a quick look over the passive things in the swamp. Probably the coolest name of anything in Ark, even though I can't say it, the Beezle Bufo. These guys are great starter dinos. They use hardly any stamina, they can jump very far. This makes it easy to get away from predators. Their attacks also deal torpor, although not really enough to knock anything out sadly. However, as a low level, I still don't think I would want to take a wild one on head on. These guys will remain passive until they are attacked. It's also good to note that Beezle Bufos will harvest the dementing paste from all bugs they kill. This makes them a very worthy contender to tame on a fresh server when everyone's competing to get CP. I have a 1-minute taming video for the Beezle Bufo. Check it out in the link in the description. The Dimetrodon. These are unique as when leveling a tamed one's melee damage, they have an insulation ability. Meaning, for example, if you were to chuck a fertilised egg in between a couple of these, depending on the amount of Dimetrodons and their levels, the eggs should start fertilising. The Gentle Giant, the Paracer. The main use of Paracers are in PvP when raiding, as they have a lot of HP, and you can also stick a platform saddle on them, meaning you can encase yourself in buildings so you won't get hit by turrets. The Achatina. These guys don't do much wild. Once tamed, they can passively collect Achatina paste, which is an alternative to cementing paste. You can also collect organic polymer, although not really a lot. However, organic polymer will last longer in their inventory. The Foamia. Don't let their long teeth fool you. These guys are friendly, and even if you attack them, they'll just run away. They're not completely useless, however. You can force feed them stimberries. This will trigger their inner IBS and force them to shit everywhere. Their feces can be added to a compost bin along with thatch. This will make fertilizer. The fertilizer can then be used to fertilize your crops, along with fertilizing Plant X for defense on PvP servers. The Diplocalyst. These guys pose you absolutely no threat. However, they can be a good thing to tame, as they can pose as an extra oxygen supply whilst you're riding them, making them a living scuba tank. How you can protect yourself whilst venturing into the swamp. I don't want this video to put off new people going into the swamp. However, if you can, I would recommend raising a wyvern first, as I've found it's a lot harder to get dismounted from them. I would also make sure I've got a decent set of flak on me, as well as something powerful to kill something with if I get into trouble. I usually bring a shotgun with me, but if you've got something better, then bring that. Make sure you also have bowlers, as a good portion of things in the swamp can be bowlered if need to. I'd recommend, in terms of weapons, something like a conch bow over a long neck, as conch bows are powerful and you can keep shooting with them. A long neck, if your first shot doesn't kill them, it takes a long time to reload, and that could be the difference between life and death. Most importantly, always stay vigilant when you're in the swamp. If you're on PC, keep on K moding all the time, as 1 minute you'll think you're safe, the next minute something's snuck up behind you. Different maps may pose different threats, like Bloodstalkers on Genesis for example, but I just wanted to cover the basics of the swamp and give you a general idea of how to stay safe. If this video has helped you out at all, please consider subscribing. Remember to check out my 1-minute taming guide videos. I'm trying to make quick, easy guides to follow in under a minute for every dino and Ark. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.